Welcome back to the Piff Company Podcast. You know it's your boy Elijah.
Josh.
Tay in the building, and welcome to episode 4.
Yeah, man. This episode today, what we're going to be talking about mainly is we're going to kind of change up the pace a little bit, but give you a little bit more factual, a little bit more scientific. This episode, this is going to be our health episode, and we're going to talk about a lot of different ways that marijuana helps with different ailments, and things like that, and also just different lifestyle choices that people who smoke weed have, and just kind of bring that, topic to you guys, and just kind of bring that to the forefront and let you know, marijuana isn't just a recreational plant that people like to do just to enjoy for, party settings or whatever. Yeah. It's also a medical plant, it's a medicinal plant, it's medicine for people who really seriously need it, and this is why we, love this plant. That's why we talk about it so much, and there's a lot of people out there who really can use it. You know what I mean? So
exactly, and we just want to kind of show you the personal connection as well. You know what I'm saying? And again, each episode we do, we're just gonna give you more of the pieces, and just so you guys connect with us as well, and know kind of just the spotlight and how we're going, and why this is something that our path. So I know us three and people in general, they usually have a connection or know someone that has some type of ailment that has used CBD or something in terms of cannabis. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think that'd be a good way to start this one off.
Yeah, and also just to kind of piggyback on that a little bit as well, is with weed, it's a lot of people who smoke weed also enjoy a healthy lifestyle. For the most part, you do have your you do have your couch potatoes out there, you know what I'm saying, who just eat nothing but snacks and stuff like that. But if you really think about it, there are a lot of people who smoke weed are also herbalists. They enjoy a more vegan lifestyle, or a vegetarian lifestyle, or they like to plant other their own gardens and stuff like that, that hippie kind of culture, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of people out there who understand this plant is more than just it's part of their vibe, it's part of their lifestyle, it's part of how they stay and maintain a healthy mental state as well as their body, and that kind of goes into those different ailments and stuff like that. So, because I know, for myself, I eat a vegetarian lifestyle as well. You know what I mean? I eat pescatarian. I do eat fish and stuff like that too. But for the most part, I try to stay away from I definitely stay away from fast food and stuff like that. I don't like to eat the red meats and stuff, just because I feel it's a healthier lifestyle, and the marijuana helps me with that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of how I felt about it.
Yes. How would you say it helps you with it, in terms of the lifestyle, in terms of how you eat when pescatarian, in the beginning when you first switched to that, did it help in terms of eating wise, smoking before you ate, maybe it was better appetite, getting used to different foods, or
so
what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily think it's the weed, when smoking it put me in a more way to think about this lifestyle. It's more so if you're that type of person who believes in the healing aspects of marijuana, that's just part of your regimen to stay healthy, right? So when you think about being healthy, you're going to the gym, you're working out, you're eating right, and you're smoking right, because weed also, which we're going to get into, it helps with so many different ailments that helps benefit, like I said, your mental, your physical body yourself, your muscles, your your in everything. So if you just have that kind of mentality of okay, I believe in just being healthier, I feel weed is part of that regimen as well. It's just part of that it's part of your arsenal kit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this, because I know this is a great transition into my point as well. When would you guys say, on a medicinal standpoint for cannabis, did you guys what really sparked the medicinal aspect? When were you I want to learn more? You know what I'm saying? You saw something and then you're like, I want to learn more about this besides the recreational point,
Honestly, the medicinal part just came while I was smoking. It's not like I went out of my way to learn it. It just kind of just popped up for me.
Okay, so more like a researching what you're smoking, basically, like a type of vibes.
Yeah.
You're saying, okay. Yeah, because I guess I could, just introduce what I mean by that. So, like, me personally, so my grandmother, she had Parkinson's disease, right? And if you guys aren't familiar, so Parkinson's disease, it's a progressive nervous system disorder that basically affects the movement. And so you get, tremors in your hands. It really starts with the tremors, and it's something that just, it keeps progressing over the years and gets to the point that, you can't even move, like it will break down, and unfortunately she passed from it. But, the reason I bring it up is personally, like as a kid, I remember her taking 3-4 pills an hour. You know what I'm saying? I used to go and break up her pills like in the day for her and basically do it by the hour and put them in her, the little filling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then still the tremors were crazy, bro. Like it was like no like, you know what I mean? I remember even as a young kid seeing it and being like, she's taking all this medicine and still tremoring, still like having an issue with, her walking, her speech. And so I remember one day I was just like searching through YouTube and I seen this video. It was a highly concentrated CBD oil, and it was given to this guy with like Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put the video link for you guys to see this as well in our supporting on the lifestyle page. But so pretty much he took this oil and it was like 1 milliliter, right? And before in the video it shows his tremors, the same tremors my grandmother had, like the same type of movements and everything. And he took the oil for the first time he's ever done it. And then within a few minutes, like I want to say, we'll say like 5 minutes, and he was complete, like his tremors stopped. His speech was not slurred. Like, and I was looking at this video as a kid, just like, I want to, like, this is something, I'm like, I want to learn more about that. You know what I mean? Seeing that personal connection, you know what I'm saying? Of, my grandmother who took so much medicine, so many pills that are deemed, given by the doctors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then we have something like cannabis. I see this video and something that's, basically deemed federally illegal, and you see it helping someone like Parkinson's, you know what I'm saying? And being from the other side, seeing someone, break down from Parkinson's, that's a huge eye opener, It really showed me I wanted to learn more on the medicinal aspect,
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like a little personal connection, you know what I'm saying? And it really started me to research and just see, like, what else is this besides the recreational part? Like, what is this about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's huge. It's huge. It's huge.
No, I feel that, bro. I feel that that's really definitely an eye opener. I don't know. For me, like I will say this too, like kind of like how Josh was saying, like when it came into just like figuring out like, okay, weed is, like I said, how it becomes like a part of like your toolkit. You know what I mean? Like it becomes part of just that healthy lifestyle. It was like when I was just starting to smoke. Like you always you kind of hear these around, like, oh, you got the hippie trippy, the people who believe in the psychic, right? And it's like they smoke weed because they're these hippie trippy people, and it's like, oh, there must be some benefits to this, right? Like you hear that, but then when you get deeper into it and you're looking at that hippie trippy stuff, but then you see like, okay, the actual science behind it, when you're just looking into that stuff, it just kind of comes naturally. You just kind of run into to like, okay, this is part of a healthy lifestyle. This is more than just a plant. And I've definitely seen a lot of different things like that too, like online where there's people who have different diseases, Parkinson's for one is huge. Another one I know, like epilepsy as well. And there's, in particular with epilepsy too, like there's what they say is there's a strain out there, again, another highly concentrated CBD strain called Charlotte's Web. And it's actually named after the patient that they gave it to, like the people who created this strain. They gave this tincture, of this CBD the CBD tincture to this girl named Charlotte, and she had epilepsy. Epilepsy as a young child. She was really really young, and same thing. They gave it to her one dose a day, and basically all her seizures would stop. Like for the day, like she would not have, like she would go from like having 100 a day to like 4, or like, you know what I mean, like 1 a day.
And I bet you
none.
that 100 a day she was still on like heavy medication,
which
blows
my mind.
Narcotics,
It's just like, opiates.
It's like you're on this heavy medication that has all these side effects. You know what I'm saying? And then you're telling, then we see a video of a CBD and completely on a different level, and it's like changes. That's amazing. It really shows, like, things like that. You search it up, it will show you. It will show you so many different people, like, and how it's helped them, personally. So.
Yeah, have you seen anything like that as well? Like when you come across your searches, or anything just in general when it comes to like how it becomes a part of just a healthy regimen or anything?
Like I said, for me, it was more of like just as I went and gained the experience. Like, for example, when I first started smoking, I got sick and I was throwing up and I was feeling nauseous. And I got to a point where I still felt nauseous, but I wasn't throwing up anymore. I was like, let me smoke a bowl real quick. Back then, I was baby lungs, had to smoke the bowl. And yeah, my nausea went away like 20 minutes later. I felt, I'm not saying I was cured, I was eating, but I was able to lay in bed without feeling pain or having to roll over every few minutes.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. That's really like one of the main things about weed too. I will say this too. Also, like in like playing sports too, right?
Okay.
So
sore muscles.
Exactly. So when you come across your different research, they say that weed is meant. It's a really good pain relief. It's also good for muscle relaxation as well, right? So because of how it breaks down into your body, it allows you to, especially a nice good indica strain or something like that, where it's a more body high, like that'll be more beneficial for your, really all
nowadays you don't even need to smoke. You can just get a cream or a little pad, or even drink something.
Exactly.
I don't know how it tastes, but
it depends on you know what I mean? Depends on how they do it.
I've heard good things about the cream though. Like people would buy the cream and rub it on them and feel a lot less pain compared to like over-the-counter drugs that they were prescribed for a while and stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's like I said, that's like one of the biggest ones too. That especially like if you're going to the doctor or something, they'll prescribe that for you. So and a lot of different chronic pains as well too, like that are associated with other ailments, other like big major health ailments. So like for example, like when you're having people with HIV, they have a lot of like I said, chronic pains in their body that are just really uncontrollable pain, right? And also with cancer as well. But these studies have shown that when you ingest THC specifically and CBD both, that both both compounds, they break down into you and allow you to have that muscle relaxation. They also help with your bone mending. Like if you had like a broken bone or something, they actually help with mending your bones, which is crazy, right? Like, so it's like all these different pains that you might have in your body. It's like the weed itself just literally, it really just fixes most of the things that's going on with you.
It really, like, even I heard you guys both mention cancer. You know what I'm saying? So another personal connection is I have my cousin who she had stage 4 cancer, and when I was with her, I remember her telling me basically her appetite was so bad, and the only thing that would help her was weed, the only thing. And I remember having a conversation with her, during it, and her explaining to me and just telling me, it's like, yeah, this is literally the only thing that helps me in terms of the appetite. You know what I mean? It's that bad with chemo. You know what I'm saying? So it, there again, another personal connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, like with my grandmother as well. Like before she had passed away too, she had like heart failure. She had kidney failure. I mean, heart disease, and she also was diabetic as well. And so that's what like was the main decline to her passing. But I remember like before like a long time before she passed, she was my uncle had like these edibles, these gummies, right? And she was like, "Oh, let me get some of that."
Yeah.
And then he gave her like a couple, like one or two or whatever, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna need some more of those," because she knew like it really helped her a lot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It helped her with like the pain that she was having. It helped her with like her appetite as well, because again, she was on so many meds. She was on so much medication. And I just remember talking to her about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I liked it." I was like, "Okay, Graham, I'm gonna have to get you some more then." She was like, "Yes, go ahead, give me some more." But yeah, so it really does help. You know what I mean? With those different ailments, it's kind of crazy to see that. A couple other things too that I saw. That was really cool. Like I said, one of the coolest things that I saw, like I said, was like the fact that it like helps mend your bones. Like if it's broken, that was kind of wild. Like I was like, Jesus, that's wild. But the other thing too, like so again, bringing back to my grandmother. Like I said, when she had kidney failure. So what the studies have showed is that people with kidney trouble, especially when you have problem like dissolving. They're called like NSAIDs, NSAID. These type of drugs that like Advil or Aleve, when they break down into your kidneys. If you have like trouble doing that, or like your body can't process it, studies have shown that ingesting marijuana helps with regulating the breakdown in your kidneys as well. So it's like all this things. You know what I mean? It's so many things. I was like, wow, okay, it helps with that. And it just led me down like a huge rabbit hole in terms of like what other things does it help with. I was like, one of the things I saw too that was kind of like, it kind of threw me off a little bit, but it said that it helps with weight loss.
Yeah. So,
and I was like,
I have a good one towards that, and I know why, but that's when when we get to THCV later in this section, I'm gonna bring that back up.
Exactly. So so that's what I saw, and I was like, okay, I think, and it was saying like it helps like manage like your like just your intake, but I was like. But when you smoke, don't you get the munchies?
And that's the thing. That's the thing when it comes to this medicinal, like the medicinal side to things, right? Is if say, what I'm saying, I want a strain that is specific towards back pain. I'm gonna get something with more, higher percent in CBD and more of an indica. You know what I'm saying? Versus like what I'll talk about later, but weight loss, THCV. That means I would get a product that has more of that versus THC. You know what I'm saying? So there's different compounds in marijuana, and so on the medicinal side, this is where they're taking it, and they do the increments for something specific, of an ailment. You know what I'm saying? So versus again recreational, where you're just really just smoking. You're just smoking, so you're feeling a mix of different things based off, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it really gets down to like the science and the pinpoint, accuracy on the medicinal side.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it's all the different terpenes and stuff like that.
Terpenes too.
That's not put into it, but that's that makes up cannabis. You know what I mean? It's all those different terpenes with different profiles that that really gives you those different benefits.
Yeah. So each compound got different different uses for. So that's where that's where it's going, and people just figuring out more. They're doing more and more research, and just figuring out what goes with what.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, another cool one too about cannabis. What it does, and this may sound also like counterintuitive as well, but it also helps with your lung capacity. Whereas smoking cigarettes,
I've heard that before,
right?
And I never understood. I'm not gonna front.
So what it also does is that it also cleans your bronchial tube, like your bronchial tubes.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like the ingestion of THC and CBD actually increases your lung capacity to intake oxygen, to oxygenate your blood better. It helps your circulation better, because again, it's a muscle relaxer, right? So if weed relaxes your muscles, that also means that your veins and your capillaries and stuff are also loosened, and so it helps with just the blood flow, circulation, and getting more oxygen throughout your blood, right? So it's like your lungs being a muscle, it increases your capacity to breathe.
Yeah.
and it cleans your bronchial tubes too, which is crazy.
So I know you said muscle relaxer in terms of. So let me ask you, because I know you be skating.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself? And I know during skating, there's a lot of falling. There's a lot of twisted ankles, bruises. So after you skate, do you like to puff one down to help you?
Already know during, before, during, after. And you know what's crazy too? Like, so I'll go to the ending set, the post sesh after, but like I said about this, it helps mend your bones, bro. It also said it prevents your bones from breaking. It makes your bones stronger. So like when I think about it, there's a lot of stoners who skate, right? And we fall all the time and we don't break our bone. Well, be careful. Not go wood, but you know what I mean? But like, you know what I mean? Like I haven't broken a bone from skateboarding, and I've fallen hundreds of times heavily. Heavily.
I feel like you gotta learn how to fall though.
You do have to learn how to fall. You do have to learn how to fall, but even still, if you know what I mean, like
I get what you're saying.
Falling a lot, it makes you more durable.
Hey, it's your boy Josh coming at you with a quick message. Don't forget to check out the piffcompany.com for all your Piff related updates. Check out the piffcompany.com for all of our lifestyle links, podcast episodes, and merchandise we have on there. I wanted to remind you guys that all episodes are uploaded to our website and our YouTube. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, all that. And yeah, let's get back to the show.
Like, you know what I mean? Like when I'm falling and tumbling because of that thing. Like after I read that, I realized like, wow, maybe that has to do with, that durability. So that's kind of crazy. But then as for the like post sesh, definitely, because after like a 3, 4, 5 hour skate sesh, bro, you're sore as heck. Like you, especially if you've taken a couple of tumbles on the concrete. For sure. A nice good, joint at the end of that puts me nice. It gets me, take a shower, come back, smoke one, and then I'm just like super relaxed. I feel my muscles like actually like loosening up. They're not so tight, especially in my legs, my lower back. So definitely that's part of the regimen. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? Any like any times that you feel like you use cannabis to help like with any ailments that you might have, or like any like just I don't know, just how it helps you in any type of case?
No, like you, I used when I used to run, I used to smoke after meet because you're running 400 meters. Your legs are tired, sore as hell. Or even after the practices, I would just smoke one and then relax. Let my body recuperate.
No, for sure. I definitely think it helped. Like just playing sports myself, football. Just after getting beat up, it's just like just really all right. Now it's time. You know what I mean? So, it's just kind of crazy to think too. It's like, can you imagine NFL players? Like I remember seeing. It was actually a podcast. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's like with Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, and them. And they were talking about how someone was speaking about how like how basically in the NFL that they, they'll prescribe the players, all these types of different pain medication, and that the players, really will talk about how they much rather just, smoke, be able to smoke rather than, they find it crazy themselves that the NFL and these, these high level, the corporations and leagues are just like, here, you can get prescription drugs, but you can't smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? And these prescription drugs are things that like, at a high level too. You know what I'm saying? Because the NFL, if you think about it, it's not just no regular Advil. It's like, these are things that people could actually get hooked on. These are things that people could actually like have side effects from. Mm-hmm. Even Advil, too much Advil, liver problems. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But you don't hear that with cannabis. So it's just so odd that, these sports and these leagues, they ban it. They ban it from athletes from using it when it doesn't, doesn't help their, like, it doesn't, how do I say this? Like, for a steroid, it's not something that enhances, like, their abilities. It's really just, that muscle relaxer. You know what I'm saying? And a list of other things as well, like we just talked about.
Like you said, it's the opioids that they, like you said, like in the sports industry for sure. Like, and I remember watching a couple of different podcasts and stuff like that too, hearing things, and like, or even like the like Aaron Hernandez documentary. Like I remember them saying like how they would prescribe like bunch of opioid pills like to these people, like and readily, like easily just get it for them. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just like
be hooked on them and whatnot. Whereas like smoke a joint, you're not gonna get addicted. You're not gonna become dependent on this thing. It's only going to, like you said, give you some appetite to eat after the game and relax you after the game and actually, and it's better for your mental as well.
Yeah.
It's better for your mental health than ingesting just tons and tons of pills.
Yeah, it's like just that
like, literally
crazy.
Breaks down your brain function and stuff. So it's like, it's kind of wild. Another fun fact. The old stereotype that says smoking weed kills brain cells. Yeah. That is so untrue. And what's crazy about it is how the study came about is that they literally and they have video of this too, which is crazy. The study came out in like the 20s, 30s or whatever, right? And what they did was or a little bit later than that, but what they did was take monkeys and hook their face to a breathing tube, right? And like an oxygen tube, like an oxygen mask, but they didn't give them any oxygen, just straight smoke, just straight cannabis, like straight weed smoke, just inhaling straight up weed smoke without any oxygen.
That's wild. And that's how they determine that?
And that's how they determine that your brain cells are dying. Okay. Yeah, because you're not getting any oxygen to your brain. Like if you don't have any oxygen to your brain, your brain cells are gonna die. They're gonna break off. Of course, you're gonna lose brain cells if you're not getting oxygen there. But the study showed the opposite. It's actually a regenerative type of thing. Like it actually helps build your brain cells. So it's like all the science is just like all the propaganda and stuff like that. It's just.
Yeah, there's a lot of research that just needs to be done, and that is out there for you to see, really. I don't know. That's crazy. Like, I remember hearing that, and like when you lose brain cells, it never made sense to me. You know what I mean? Just because I feel like you lose, like if I were to hit you in the head right now, you would lose some brain cells. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, like an average bump in the head. I'm pretty sure you lose some brain cells when you do that. So. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how they do it. That's why
it's all about the money.
Exactly.
The pharmaceutical companies rather sell a knockout version of heroin than sell cannabis. So, shit.
You're talking about opioids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're made from the same stuff.
Crazy. It's crazy, man. I remember like one time I forget. I think I tore my MCL, and they prescribed me like it was like Percocet, you know what I mean, or
or
something like along those lines. But it at the point my mom was like, yeah, you're not taking that. Took the ball, I was like, yeah, you're not taking that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and honestly, like, I don't even want it. You know what I mean? It's just like, if you really think about it, how is that so easy for me to, you know?
Yeah.
How is that so easy for y'all to just give something that is so, you know, recordly, you can see the numbers, affects America, you know what I mean?
Right.
Affects the world with people. Like, it's, you know,
Right.
addiction's a disease itself. You feel me?
Right.
So it's just like, we got these pharmaceutical companies with, you know, these drugs that feed a disease, you know, in a way.
And then what's crazy is that the same pharmaceutical company will then they'll create the drug that gets you hooked, right? And then they'll create the drug to
Lean you off it, right? Yeah.
To make you clean from the drug that they hooked you on.
Wait, man, it's a capitalist economy. You gotta make the buck.
It's crazy.
I mean, and that is part of it too, like, cause you know, weed, you can grow it anywhere. It's a weed. It'll grow.
You can process it at your house too if you want wax or something. You just need an ice bath and a press.
Yeah. That's why I feel like legalization, it's a lot more than there's a lot more to it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really think about all these huge companies like we were just talking about, they're gonna lose money. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna lose money if it came at the point where it's like, you know, okay, cannabis is available, like Advil's available. You know what I mean? Those other companies are.
You also gotta think about it. If you abuse cannabis, like let's say you smoked a whole ounce in 3 hours, the worst thing that's gonna happen is you eat a bunch of junk food and you go to bed. You try to take 4 or 5 Percocets in an hour, you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Fighting for your life. So like,
exactly.
It's crazy.
Nah, it shows you, man. But no, I think that's a good, you know, segue into our next section. Just kind of, you know, here I just wanted to really give a personal connection. And then as a company, how, you know, we want to have, you know, products in the future under the Piff Company. So I think it would be a good just way to just show you guys kind of how, you know, our thought process on that, and, you know, why, you know what I'm saying, we've put so much effort into learning more about, you know, things like diabetes, for example. You know what I'm saying? Because me myself, so I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed in 2019. And, you know, being a diabetic, me myself, cannabis has helped on the recreational side. You know, like, for example...
recreational or medicinal?
Well, so the reason I said on the recreational side is, you know, obviously that's how you start. You get what I'm saying?
Get you. Yep.
And so at 19, you know what I mean? Like, that's when I would see like little things in terms of already being recreational user. It's more like I noticed certain things, how it helps me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so before I get into that, first, not a lot of people understand type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So I want to explain that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So basically, so type 1 diabetes, it's when you're born with it, you know? And so pretty much the difference between that is, you know, for me, it showed up at 19. So it's something I was born with, but it wasn't something I had to deal with until I was 19. Right. It wasn't something I knew I had. You know what I'm saying? And so pretty much it's when, you know, my body, it's kind of like when your body's like attacking itself. You know what I mean? So basically, like, your pancreas is making very little insulin. And so it's not, you know, you need insulin to break down carbs in your body. So if you're not breaking down the if you're not breaking down the carbs, then basically, you know, it gets at a point that, you know, I was literally like urinating my carbs out. You know what I'm saying? I lost like 20 pounds in a month. You know what I'm saying? That's how I found out. I was urinating like crazy, and I lost like 20 pounds in a month.
I see.
And then, so I went to the doctors, and then, you know, that's when they told me I had, you know, diabetes. And just after that, you know, since then, like I said, it's just been more of something that you deal on a daily basis, but you get better at, you know what I'm saying? And so, I could definitely say cannabis has helped me with that, you know, from a personal aspect, you know what I mean? And the reason I want to talk about it today is, you know, that's something we want to put an emphasis on, like, in our products, you know what I'm saying? And so us being, you know, 2 diabetics as owners, it shows you, you know, the products we're putting out is something that, you know, as a diabetic, we know that this is what we're talking about. You know, this is something that helps us. You know what I mean?
How do you feel like it helped? Oh, before that, and then also like you said, the difference with type 2 is.
Oh, yes.
So, I'll say this. I can a little bit about it. I'll say I know because my grandmother was type 2 diabetic, and that's when you would usually and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you would get it later on in life in terms of your lifestyle choices, right? Like if you're eating unhealthy, you're eating a lot of fats, you're eating a lot of sugars, you're eating a lot of carbs, you're intaking these things, and you're obese. More times if you're like overweight, you'll then develop diabetes, type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how my grandmother, she got diagnosed with it. And so, not that she was obese or anything like that, but she definitely, she grew up eating, fried chicken, the, mac and cheese, the greens, the chitlin, all that stuff, so she grew up eating all, a lot of, not a lot of vegetables and greens and, more, plant-based, you know what I mean? And that will contribute to you contracting, or not contracting it, you developing type 2 diabetes. And so, that's my connection to it. And then I don't know.
Type 2 though, just like you were saying, I just want to add on, like type 2 is, like you said, something you develop, but it's also something that, type 2 patients can take medicine, like pills, for example. They'll take, they're not always insulin dependent, versus type 1, we are insulin dependent. So every time we have to, if we want to eat, we have to take like an injection, you know what I'm saying? Versus type 2 is they really can take like, just like pills and, things like metformin that just kind of just helps, with everything. But yeah, as type 1, we're insulin dependent. So there's a difference with that as well.
Okay.
And then, I just let Josh explain too. Because I know Josh helped me out a lot. Me being a type 1 diabetic, him being my friend as well. He had it before me. So when it came down to the time of me being diagnosed, I know talking to you, bro, helped me out a lot. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of you showing me like, little things that helped you out through the way, or, just being able to talk to somebody else that experienced it. You know what I'm saying? So.
For me, I started smoking around the time I got diagnosed. So, which looking back on it, it was a good thing for me because, in the beginning, I didn't really like to eat because I wasn't really fond of injecting myself with insulin. So, like, I would eat like 1 or 2 meals a day, and I lost a lot of weight. And then I started smoking, and my appetite just grew, and I just started gradually eating more, and then now I'm comfortable to just eat and take my medicine with no problem. And then later down the road, like you said, I also felt other aspects of how cannabis helped me.
Yeah.
For example, like when you have a high blood sugar, you sometimes get like really bad headaches, or like your joints hurt or some stuff. Smoking helped with that as well as taking my medicine and doing the proper stuff.
Yeah.
But smoking really helped when let's say I was in school and I was in class and I didn't have a chance to go take medicine really quick. I could just take a gummy bear really quick, and then helps me out.
Exactly. And speaking when you said like when your blood sugar's high, and going back to everybody's body being different. When my blood sugar's really high, I get like really nauseous. You know what I'm saying? Like to the point like I'm not trying to eat. I'm just like I feel like I'm gonna throw up. But like that's something for sure that helps me. Like when I smoke and my blood sugar's high, that's that appetite it's like a complete 180, like 360, I should say. It's just a complete turnaround,
Yeah.
So I could definitely say on my point of view, that helps for sure. That helps for sure. And even things like, being low, for example. So when we say high blood sugar and we say low blood sugar, so pretty much, on the high end, again, that's when you get the migraines, you get the, you get nauseous, you can get your hands, feeling stiff, tingly. But on the lower end, you know what I'm saying, that's when your hands are are shaking, you really, that's when you have to get some, they hear about, oh, you got to get some sugar, you got to get, take a candy real quick or whatever. And I know in the beginning that, just being low in the high, that used to give me a lot of just anxious kind of, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of it was just very different, So I know on the other side, cannabis kind of just helps that, just, being more calm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like, sleeping throughout the night, for example, like, as Josh definitely understands too, we wake up with the lows sometimes, wake up with the lows, wake up with the sweats. So that definitely can affect your sleep, So I know me, I definitely like to smoke before I go to bed because, sometimes I know I just have trouble sleeping anyways because it's just like, it's just something on your mind, that, I might wake up like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of, it's like a natural, it's like a natural stress sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely not cool when you got, you know what I'm saying? Wake up and you're like, I'm running, not running. You can't run, but I'm patiently going down the stairs like, hold up. I need some orange juice real quick.
Wow.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
orange juice real.
The whole family knows when I'm up. It's like 4 a.m. He's like, oh, he's low. You know what I'm saying? So
wow. Yeah, that's crazy, the connection too. Like, because even like again, just for your mental health, like that's so. We just gives you just a peace of mind, right? Like, and like you said, just before going to bed, like you might be anxious that, oh, I hope I don't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I hope I don't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's just
relax
like
yourself.
Yeah, and it's not that it's like it's needed. I'm not saying I need it. It's just something that helps. You know what I'm saying? It's something that and so I know going forward and like the products that we want to. I know as a company, we eventually want to get our license to cultivate, we eventually want to have our license to have, be able to have and give products under the Piff Company. So that's why I think it was key that we talked about this today because, like we said, we got 2 owners that are, diabetic. And I know you have your connections as well, just not only being our boys, but your personal, connections too. So, us giving you that personal connection, like you really understand that, what we're talking about is something that, we feel and we understand ourselves,
So let's go like deeper into like what we want to do like in terms of that because, the part that I think is truly cool about the weed that and something that what we're going to like specialize into or, figure out within developing our product is the fact that there is, like I said, there's different terpenes in cannabis, and one of them being THCV. And they found that THCV is the terpene and the cannabinoid that's within cannabis that helps regulate your insulin intake. It helps regulate your fat, your carbohydrate like breakdown. And so it's like that, and that's also part of the cannabis that gives you like appetite as well. That also like increases that appetite a little bit more, right?
So I know you mentioned this earlier. So what's interesting when I was doing my research is that THCV is actually a appetite suppressant. So again, going back to the different compounds in marijuana, there's so many different compounds. You know what I'm saying? There's different things that again. So we got THC that will give you a better appetite, the munchies.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Now we got THCV, so if they were to specifically just take the THCV and make that the higher, dosage, that's that helps with weight loss.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was the fact. Yeah, right. Exactly.
So it's the opposite of THC.
Right.
Exactly. And so they found that, and that just, think about that. This is another business if you really think about weight loss, for example. How many pills are in weight loss? How many different vitamins, So here's another business.
Like late night 2 a.m. commercial burn fat pills and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly. You feel me? So it's just like here's another thing cannabis can be used for, and it's natural. It's not
just on that too, just because this kind of came to my head too, like even like with ADHD, like they say they're not that THCV helps with this, but like, with cannabis also helps with give you a more, focus, like with sativa kind of, strain. So it gives you more that tunnel vision, that focus, that ability to focus in more. But then again, they'll give you like Ritalin or
Adderall.
That got you blinking like.
Staring at it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and how many kids bro? Growing up, I feel like every other kid I knew had either ADHD, ADD. Like, I'm like, what do I got? I got both. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, man. Yeah, that for real though. Like, it's real. Like, it's really crazy. Like, instead of all those pills that you could be that they want to give you. You could have even if it is still in a pill form, you could put THC capsules or CBD capsules or whatever it may be, and ingest it that way instead of having these harmful, addictive opioids. It's your boy Elijah. Welcome back to another commercial break. Just have to stop it real quick. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to let you guys know to always support us on the piffcompany.com. Support us on there. Get your merch. Go check out the lifestyle page for any new articles. We also got new videos on our YouTube. Definitely go check out our YouTube page. We got vlogs on there. We got everything that you guys need at the piffcompany.com. We appreciate you guys.
Okay, so just bringing it back to what we were talking about in terms of THCV, and it's basically its relationship with diabetes. So people have been doing research with THCV, and that pretty much like its ability to like regulate blood sugars and reduce like insulin resistance. So some of the issues that we were just speaking about, this is exactly where it's saying that it basically helps stabilize those low and highs. You know what I'm saying? It helps stabilize the blood sugar. So pretty much like they've been doing like studies, even dating back from 2016. There was a study that found THC, V, and CBD, like I just said, increase like just insulin production in people with type 2 diabetes. And then that just kind of again shows you something crazy. Us being diabetics, besides insulin, like there's nothing. There's really nothing else that is stabilizing us. You know what I mean? It's really all on us, like, how we want to eat, you know what I'm saying? If we exercise. So just the fact that they're saying, hey, there's another route for this,
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, that's something as a company, I definitely think, that's something we're researching and want to basically implement in our products in the future. You know what I'm saying? So, again, going back to the other episodes, edibles, for example, that's something that, people use for when you want to get an exact dosage of something. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if we had edible lines under the Piff Company, it would explain, like, it would be highly concentrated in THCV. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, going back to, like I said, the products and how we're trying to, innovate these products to help, things like diabetes, for example, that we already relate to. So that's really huge on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not only even just stabilizing blood sugars, like the inflammation we talked about, lower blood pressure. Like there's a lot involved with THCV. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, so that's why, like you said, when it comes to like now us, that's why we do this research. That's why we do all this stuff, because it just influences how we are going to be, building ourselves into the industry in an innovative way. Because again, we are a lifestyle company. We are a lifestyle brand. We represent everything that has to do with cannabis. You know what I mean? And especially this affecting your guys' lifestyle, like on a day-to-day basis, it only makes sense for us to go down this route to find a way. Really, you guys are being selfish. If you think about it, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we develop something that's gonna help me, like, live my life better.
Yeah, and help others. So
it's a
one-on-one. I get why you said selfish, but nah.
Of course, I know.
You know what I'm saying? But I definitely get why you said it.
Right.
But like you just said, like it's gonna. This process is dope. Like
Exactly.
it's exciting as an owner, as someone that's putting the products out. It's like we're also connecting with the product. It's something that we're gonna be using ourselves and seeing the results before anything. You know what I'm saying? And And we got this platform because, we want to build with you guys. You're going to see our build up. You're going to see us rise through that. And, that's the goal here. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal here.
Yeah. What else do you think, what else could we use, like other, like, I guess like other ways that we can implement that like throughout the company as well, like just our overall reach. I know part of it we want to also, go more into like looking into different groups like or different like charitable events or stuff like that and things like that we're going to look into in the future as well to be a part of. But in terms of like just anything more about THCV, because like I'm really like just learning so much about it, especially from you guys, especially how this affects you. Like, what do you think, like how the product would help you, like in terms of just using it on a day-to-day basis, if that were the case, if, you had something that was like, you knew that this could help you in your day-to-day life, like how would that make you feel, or like what would that do for you in your lifestyle? Would that change it or
I mean,
enhance it or something?
It depends what the product does. If we're able to make a product like we want to, that helps, for example, diabetics lower their blood sugar or help control their blood sugar, that benefits them by having more control over their lives and having to take less medicine. If our patient is a cancer patient, our products are going to be more geared towards an appetite, pain relief, more of a nausea relief, so it depends really what you have and what you're looking for, because we're not gonna although we are diabetics, we're not gonna solely focus on that.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have the emphasis, but it's not the only thing, like Josh just said, you know what I'm saying? And that's like, why we do the research, you feel me? Like there's so many different things. CBD, for example, like I talked about the other time, topicals, the reason they use it so much is just it really just gets into it directly. That's something easy that we can do, you know what I mean? So from, the ailments of, body pains, again, like you just say, the appetite, there's so many different products with just cannabis. So that's why it's so exciting and why we're getting in the business for it, so it's just, it's crazy how one thing can be connected to so many others.
So many different things.
But yet it's deemed so controversial.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It don't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I feel like...
Because it's like, let me get it before... one more example. It's like, say I don't even smoke, right? But I am having, pains in my legs, for example, like we just talked about. Even if I'm not a fan of smoking, I can benefit from cannabis, Literally. Without even being high at all, from just CBD. So it's just like, think about that.
I guess it's probably like just that negative stereotype that is associated with a plant. Like,
exactly.
Like it doesn't make any sense. I feel like it's just because of the smell. Like people, you know what I mean? It's so loud. It's so offensive. It's so loud. Like that's the only reason why people even have such a feeling about it. Because, well, really, that's not true. Actually, it started in like the 1920s where they had the propaganda that the Mexicans are coming to America with their marijuana. That's why they named it marijuana to make it more Mexican
heard like
sounding.
Racist.
And that the jazz players are using it. So these black jazz players and the Mexicans are coming, and so they try to demonize this plant, to racially demonize it, to make it be like, oh no, it's not socially acceptable to be using this plant. Whereas tobacco is a plant that kills people on a daily basis. It don't make no sense, man. It just does not make any sense,
Well, I mean, not just tobacco. Because, cigarettes aren't just tobacco.
Right.
Oh, then you got jet fuel, rat poison.
This is crazy. I never in my head, like, everybody remembers health class when they brought out the rat poison in the picture next to the cigarettes. I was like, what? And these, I'm like, hold up. Even as a kid, I couldn't even wrap my head around it. I'm like, how is that knowingly still being sold? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that knowingly still like a thing?
On the package of every cigarette box, it says cigarettes smoking kills. It literally says it legally has to say that. That this product will kill you.
It's just wild to think about.
But it goes much deeper than that because the government's not just gonna shut something down
That's making money.
They themselves promoted.
Right.
They had doctors on billboards.
Well, how about this? Let me push back on that. It was at one point in America legal or required for every farmer to grow hemp on their farm. Back, the Constitution is written on hemp paper, so it's like it was meant when they were writing that back in the 1700s and before. It was required for you to be growing hemp. It was law mandated. You need to grow weed as a farmer. Like, you need to do this for industrial uses, for medicinal uses, recreational uses. Like, to be honest, right? And then somehow it became demonized. They demonized it because they recognized that this plant can be used for every single thing. I can make shirts from it. I can make paper from it. I can make oil from it. I can make everything from this thing. You can make concrete out of hemp. Did you know that? No, you can build a house purely out of hemp. You can build a weed house, bro.
That's wild.
So we gotta have our facility in the future be made out of hemp.
That would be crazy and crazy expensive too.
Dumb expensive.
But that would be crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Actually, it might not be because it actually it's cheaper. The hemp material is cheaper to make than everything else because you don't need all.
Kind of dope.
Yeah, so it's cheaper than.
I know there's even I have a grinder that's made out of hemp. You know what I'm saying?
Come on,
it's
bro.
like it's crazy.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, it's wild.
Come on, man. It's what are they doing? But luckily we're in this age now where it is becoming more socially acceptable. It is becoming more legalized. There's a lot more states out there. There's like 29 states or something like that are legalized or at least recreationally or medically or decriminalized for cannabis. So it's like it is coming back around. And it is really a great time to be alive for real. But it's just like, it never had to be this way.
Yeah.
It never had to be this way.
Hey man, you make a lot more money off opioids than you do with cannabis.
I don't know. I recently saw, as of now, how the studies show, yeah, for sure. And because how they could, you know what, you're absolutely right. Because they break down the plant, whatever, turn it into a little powder form, that little couple of those pills, they sell them things for thousands of dollars.
Exactly. You're not going to want to be like, oh, we messed up. Let's get in the cannabis business. Nah, let's destroy this cannabis business before it destroys
us. Wow.
So you got politicians and
there's
CEOs all advocating for no legalization of marijuana and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man. Crazy world we live in.
Sure.
Yeah, man. And what I was originally about to say to kind of push on that was I saw I forgot what state it was, but I saw an article where it said that in this, I forgot what state it was, damn. But they said that their tax revenue from cannabis alone has they made more income from cannabis tax than from alcohol tax in the entire state.
Wow.
And I forget what state it was, but yeah, like just think of that. They made more from cannabis revenue than alcohol.
Makes sense though. Yeah. You drink 3 beers, you ain't driving home. You smoke 3 joints.
Exactly.
Perfectly fine to go.
What? No.
You gotta wait.
Don't promote.
You gotta wait. You got to wait. But in the same time span, I get you. But yeah, that is the thing too. Even with weed, like it does increase your focus. It makes you drive slower. If anything, it makes you more alert. But
yeah, now you know what I'm saying.
We're not promoting that.
We don't, don't smoke before you drive. You know what I'm saying? Don't, And again, it goes back to even with anything, right? You can abuse anything in life. You know what I'm saying? I know people that they have like a workout addiction, and it sounds funny to say because you work out is better for your health, but literally if they're not working out, that they feel sick type of vibes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like things like coffee, for example. People that drink coffee on a regular basis, they stop drinking coffee for a few days. They start getting headaches. You know what I mean? They start having like, I feel awful in the morning now. So it's just like with anything, like you gotta have a proper consumption. What we speak about, you know what I mean? Obviously, like you said, you gotta know your body. You know what I mean? And we'll never sit here and tell you like, no, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't. We're not gonna sit here and tell you go smoke before you drive, because no, we don't. You know what I mean? Definitely. You shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's against the law. Right. But you gotta understand what is right if you're gonna do something and ingest something.
Absolutely.
You gotta understand that. Just the proper ways and how your body relates with that. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah, man, that's it. It's definitely it's a a very complicated industry.
Very controversial.
But that's why we're here. We're gonna shed that light to it. You know what I mean?
Give you guys the information. That's what we do here at the Piff Company. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And I think this is probably a good time to start wrapping up. And any last thoughts that you guys want to just go over real quick about anything?
No, I just really want to thank you guys. Thank you guys tuning in. This is the end of episode 4. Again, make sure to check on the lifestyle page where you see our supporting articles of, what we speak about, where we get our facts from. You know what I'm saying? And we want to thank you for tuning in. Till next time.
Till next time, guys. The Piff Company. Peace.